this, Danny.
Can you feel it? Your heart beats faster. You struggle to catch your breath. Your mind races. The time has come, once again, for the Deep Dive Podcast's Horror Month. Join us, if you dare.
Hello, divers. Welcome to week 4 of Horror Month 2021. I'm Tom Feeney, writer for Wang's Chop Movie Magazine, and because everybody asked, it is spelled WENG''S CHOP. No, I'm not sure what it means either. Anyway, my podcasting partner Amanda is again unable to be here. She ingested an invisibility serum, and now we can't find her. We hope that she reappears soon. Conjoined, monozygotic, or even dizygotic. What is it about twins? Is it their creepy secret twin language, or maybe their weird psychic connection? Well, I'm not sure. But certainly, the movies have capitalized on this particular genetic curiosity. I mean, you've got multiple versions of The Parent Trap. There's the Winklevoss twins in The Social Network. Oh, and that movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger and Danny DeVito. The title escapes me. Oh, well. Anyway, twins can be cute and funny, usually when they're babies. But they can also be terrifying and, yes, evil. I mean, the term evil twin exists for a reason. So let's look at some not-so-cute siblings and lookalikes that have made some horror movies even twice as scary. Now, when you think of spooky twins, most people immediately think of Stanley Kubrick's 1980 horror classic, The Shining. The two little girls who appear to young Danny in the halls of the Overlook Hotel. In the film, the two girls, named Alexi and Alexa Grady, were killed along with their mother, killed by their father and previous hotel caretaker.
My predecessor in this job hired a man named Charles Grady as the winter caretaker. And he came up here with his wife and two little girls, I think about 8 and 10. And he had a good employment record, good references. And from what I've been told, I mean, he seemed like a completely normal individual. But at some point during the winter, he must have suffered some kind of a complete mental breakdown. He ran amok and he killed his family with an axe. Stacked them neatly in one of the rooms of the West Wing, and then he put both barrels of a shotgun in his mouth. Police, they thought that it was what the old-timers used to call cabin fever. Kind of claustrophobic reaction, which can occur when people are shut in together over long periods of time.
Wow. That is, quite a story.
Oh, if I had a nickel for every time I heard that story during a job interview. So movies about identical twins have historically been somewhat tricky to make, simply because having the same actor play two roles is pretty difficult, especially since you can never really shoot a scene where you're talking to another you. Now, advances in special effects make it possible to have the same actor interact with his doppelganger pretty seamlessly. But back before it was possible, body doubles and all kinds of in-camera tricks were used to create the illusion of two of the same person in the same place. Now, the biggest advance in those camera systems was called Vista Glide. Created by Industrial Light and Magic, Vista Glide was a computer-controlled camera on a track that could repeat the exact same camera movements over and over. So you could create a shot where the camera moves from one part of a room to another, then be able to repeat the same movements as many times as you need it. So why is that important? Well, before Vista Glide, if you wanted to have the same actor appear with himself in a scene, the camera had to be locked in place, or you'd ruin the illusion. Now, perhaps the greatest example of the Vista Glide camera doing its thing was in Back to the Future Part 2. There's a scene where Michael J. Fox is playing three characters, Marty McFly and his two kids, Marty Jr. and daughter Marlene McFly. Now, in the scene, they are able to pass objects to each other almost seamlessly, something that could never have been done without the computer-controlled Vista Glide camera. However, we are not here to discuss the technical prowess used by motion picture artists to simulate the inherent creepiness of twins. We are here to examine the twofold terror that twins can bring to a movie. My first pick is one that isn't technically a horror film, but bear with me, it's worth discussing. This particular movie needed no special effects to replicate the appearance of twins, because the stars of the film actually were twins. Not fraternal twins, not even identical twins, but conjoined twins. We go back in time to the year 1952 for the incredible and unbelievable exploitation film Chained for Life.
I want to be free. Now I know that the only way I can be happy is to be alone with the man I love. The kind that say they don't fall the hardest of all. So never, never, no, never, never, never say you'll never fall in love.
I love you.
Here is the strangest of love stories.
You are in love with him. Yes. And he's in love with me.
I do now pronounce you man and wife.
The strangest marriage the law has ever permitted. And the strangest of all bridal nights. And because of Renee, whom few men could resist, the strangest of triangles.
Suppose I told him the truth.
About what?
About us.
Murder. Murder that baffled justice. A case that has no precedent in the history of the courts. Because until death, they are chained for life.
Yeah, this one is a doozy. Where to begin? Well, okay, Chained for Life starred real-life conjoined twins Daisy and Violet Hilton. Born in 1911, the pair were fused at the pelvis, but didn't share any major organs. Now, back then, it was incredibly rare for conjoined twins to survive more than a few weeks. So Daisy and Violet were no strangers to the entertainment industry, but that wasn't by choice. They were forced by their mother to go on tour from the time they were 3 years old. When they got older, they had to learn to sing, play musical instruments, and even tap dance. The Hilton sisters made their first film appearance in the controversial 1932 film Freaks, about a close-knit group of carnival sideshow performers played by real carnival sideshow performers. And it wasn't until 20 years later they would star in Chained for Life. The sisters play stage performers caught up in a bizarre love triangle. Apologies to New Order. Daisy falls in love with a fellow performer, Andre, a trick shot artist. Violet hates him. Drama ensues. Daisy finds out that Andre has another lover. And during a performance, Daisy shoots Andre dead right in front of the audience. It's cold-blooded murder, no doubt about it. And lots of witnesses, including Daisy's own sister. The problem is, if you convict Daisy, Violet also goes to jail. If you sentence Daisy to death, Violet dies too. So what's a judge to do? Well, if you want to know the answer to that, you can watch the movie in its entirety for free right now on YouTube. Now, it's all rather depressing, the story of the Hilton sisters, but if you are so inclined, there is a documentary about the Hilton sisters that details their rather tragic lives. It's called Bound by Flesh and can be rented on Apple TV or Amazon Prime Video for $3.99. All right, enough of the sad stuff. Let's liven the party up with a movie that tells the story of identical twin, drug-addicted gynecologists who take advantage of their patients. Oh, yeah. Now, if that was too vague a description for you, I am, of course, referring to the 1988 film by Canada's scariest director, David Cronenberg, Dead Ringers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Beverly Mantle.
By every scientific measure, they are absolutely the same. They share everything.
You haven't had any experience until I've had it too. Bev, you've got to try the movie star. She's unbelievable.
Oh, doctor, you've cured me. You mean to say there's two of them? They're twins, dear.
I think we should drop her, Bev. You drop her. I'm in love with her. Can't be love if it does this to you, can it?
Doctor, I think there's something wrong with you.
Patients are getting strange. What are they? For working on mutant women.
From David Cronenberg, who in The Fly made the fantastic real.
Get him out of here! Radical technology was required. Something radical is definitely required.
Now, David Cronenberg makes reality the ultimate fantasy. Dead Ringers.
Separation can be a terrifying thing.
As I said, we have these two doctors, Elliot and Beverly, both played by the amazing Jeremy Irons. Elliot is the more assertive of the pair, so he enjoys seducing his patients, and as soon as he's done with them, Elliot lends them to his more passive brother, but never tells them it's a different brother. This goes on until both brothers become infatuated with the same woman, a movie actress played by Geneviève Bujold. This upsets the delicate balance between the brothers and begins a downward spiral of depression, drug abuse, and even murder. You begin to realize these twins are connected in every way except physically. They are truly two mirror images of one another. And when one image becomes twisted and distorted, the other has no choice but to follow. The movie itself is not an easy watch. It does contain some seriously grisly images and can be pretty disturbing, but the performances are all around amazing. Jeremy Irons really makes you believe that there are two separate individuals here, and their brotherly relationship, although incredibly strange, feels real. In the end, one makes the ultimate sacrifice for the other. But when two people are as connected as the Mantle brothers, one can't survive without the other. The movie looks amazing, by the way. David Cronenberg, of course, is a master of the art, but also was able to use the technological advances of the time to really make it seem as though these are two actual brothers interacting with each other. And of course, it doesn't hurt that Jeremy Irons does a fantastic job. Now, if you are so inclined, you can watch Dead Ringers for free on many streaming services, including Tubi, NBC's Peacock, Pluto TV, and Popcorn Flicks. My next pick comes from the mind of director Brian De Palma, by way of Alfred Hitchcock. It's a thriller about a young fashion model and her insane, murderous twin, 1972's Sisters.
Conjoined twins, called Siamese, challenge life at their first breath. Some twins have been separated and lead normal lives. Others never can. Sisters. They were once one in body, and perhaps one in mind. Danielle and Dominique. One loving, one hating, one innocent, the other... Where does Danielle end and Dominique begin?
Dominique is okay. No, I can't remember.
Go back, try. Remember.
He's a freak!
Freak.
He's a freak!
Sisters. Rated R.
Brian De Palma would originally come to be known as a director of thrillers and horror films like Carrie, Dress to Kill, and Body Double, before moving to mainstream films like The Untouchables, Scarface, and the first Mission Impossible film. But Sisters would be his first real Hitchcockian thriller. In fact, homages to the Psycho director can be found in many of his films, including Sisters. Future Lois Lane actress Margot Kidder stars as twin sisters Dominique and Danielle. The twins were once conjoined, but since separated surgically. Danielle is a fashion model, and Dominique is, well, crazy. It appears as though Dominique has murdered Danielle's lover in Dominique's apartment. The murder is witnessed by neighbor Grace, who is also a reporter. Grace investigates the murder with the help of a private investigator. Meanwhile, Danielle's ex-husband may also be involved. Grace is convinced that the insane sister Dominique is being hidden from the authorities. But the sisters are hiding something much stranger than that. This is very much a Hitchcock-like film. De Palma even uses Hitchcock's favorite composer, Bernard Herrmann, to write the film's score. So if you're a fan of Hitchcock and his films, you will really enjoy Sisters. You can watch it now if you are an HBO Max subscriber, or rent it for $3.99 from iTunes and Prime Video. Now, we have got merch for you. Yes, that's right. This month, and only this month, we have our special Horror Month 2021 t-shirt on our merch store. And you can find that, by the way, on our website at thedeepdivepodcast.com. And if you are on that website, please, you can see links to all of our social media. And if you are, once again, so inclined, like and subscribe, and also give us a good review if you want. We're not forcing the issue, but, we're not too proud to beg. Thank you very much. So, I'm Tom Feeney. Thanks again for listening. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your dog, and we'll be back.
The Deep Dive Podcast is a production of Automaton Studios.